What's good, y'all? It's 9 a.m. right now where I'm at, and I'm tired, bro. I'm tired. My sleep schedule has been messed up, so I just woke myself up, just listened to some Summers, Ilyvon, SGP West, just a little something lucky, just a little something just to wake me up for a minute. If you don't know who Ilyvon is, he's the dude that is, at the end, if you watch my full videos, 9 times out of 10, he's the dude rapping at the end. Either him or Subi. Y'all should go check them out if y'all, if y'all rocking with the outro songs, y'all should go check them out because they're real talented. But right now, we got a death battle. Shout out death battle. Magneto versus Tetsuo. Marvel versus Akira. I have not seen Akira, but I have seen X-Men, and I know Magneto is tough. But it's been a minute since I've seen X-Men though, so this will help me like remember some things, and I get more knowledge about both characters because I don't read comics like that much as the regular comic fan. I read it sometimes, but I don't read it as much. So without further ado, let's just get into it.
This episode of Death Battle is sponsored by HelloFresh and Bespoke Post. Magneto, Marvel's mutant master of magnetism.
Tetsuo Shima, Akira's
His head
telekinetic
big
terror
as
of
hell.
Neo-Tokyo.
These two maestros of kinesis have ignited revolution not just in their worlds, but also the very mediums they exist within.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
All right.
In the short duration of modern civilization, likely no conflict tested humanity more than the Second World War. In the primary Marvel 616 universe, this fact is no different, especially to the Eisenhart family and their only son.
You may know him as Magnus, Eric, or Max, but if you ask him, he'd say his true name is Magneto.
As a Jewish child in Nazi Germany,
Max Eisenhart, oh yeah, he just said 6'2", 190, Omega 11 mutant, Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, X-Men, Hellfire Club, discrimination, Nazis, wooden guns.
Magneto's early life was, well, extremely traumatic.
Even after eventually escaping certain death with his future wife, misfortune always followed wherever he went.
Thanks to his unexpected mutation called the X gene, the mark of a superhuman. After settling down in Russia with his new family, the KGB quickly found out about this quirk, so they burned his house down with his own daughter inside.
Naturally, he snapped and killed them all. I don't blame him. I'd do that too. Too bad his wife didn't get it and ditched him though. But that's when Magneto made a choice. Since humans hurt him his entire life, he'd do the same to them in the name of mutants everywhere.
At first, Magneto turned to the telepathic powerhouse Charles Xavier and his fledgling team of heroes. But his new friend wasn't thrilled with the idea of, subjugating the human race. So, Magneto formed his own team of mutants, the Brotherhood.
Magneto can telekinetically move, bend, and reshape any metal he's aware of.
Magnekinesis, flight, magnetic barriers. All right, I forgot Quicksilver is. All right, I forgot about these people. Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch. Yeah, I forgot about these people. I forgot they were X-Men. They were in the franchise. Energy manipulation and absorption, biological manipulation, matter manipulation, extrasensory perception, gravity manipulation,
bullets,
telepathy,
vehicles, buildings, you name it. Even himself when he manipulates his personal magnetic field for flight and energy barriers.
Magnetokinesis is far more versatile than it would appear at first glance. The blood in your body has iron in it. The air has traces of lead and mercury. Whole mountains are lined with metallic ore. The Earth itself is surrounded by a literal magnetic field.
So many toys for Maggie to play with. He can detect magnetic fields at such a huge range, he can even pinpoint Earth's magnetic rays while stranded on a planet in another galaxy. And guess what? He was able to use those rays to pull himself back to Earth in a single day.
His range is even more remarkable than that. Did you know that in 1820, physicist Hans Christian Ørsted discovered that electric currents, like those of electrons and protons and atoms, produce their own magnetic fields? Magneto can fine-tune his control to affect these very subatomic particles. Dummy here will illustrate such a particle, with positively charged protons and negative
I thought
electrons.
he was talking to Boomstick.
My life is as meaningless as an atom is small.
So what you're saying is Magneto could, like, yank one of those out?
Correct, potentially changing an atom's entire chemical makeup. However, neutrons do not have a charge, and without the ability to adjust those to accommodate the change in atomic mass, the atom would become unstable and...
Finally!
The toasted cheddar chalupa is back, only at Taco Bell.
My man's just exploded.
Do that. Magneto's violent protest against humankind clashed with Xavier's peaceful reconciliation, not unlike the ideologies taught by Malcolm X and Dr. King, by whom Stan Lee and Jack Kirby were inspired. Magneto would spend most of his career pushing Xavier away to prove...
Sorry to cut them off, but shout out to Malcolm X. And shout out to Martin Luther King Jr., man.
his philosophy's superior, which meant doing battle with Xavier's school of thought, quite literally.
And Baldy's mind powers are no joke, but thanks to Magneto's psionic repelling helmet, Professor X couldn't touch him. Magneto survived Cyclops' earth-splitting lasers, absorbed the power of the sun to battle Iron Man, ripped the adamantium skeleton out of Wolverine's body, and even taken on Hercules himself. You know, the Greek legend, Zero to Hero, the guy who held up the skies of Olympus for Atlas? That Hercules.
Seems sensible. Magneto once used the Earth's magnetic field to overwhelm the Phoenix Force, which can effortlessly destroy planets, let alone far more.
Hell, if he really wanted to, Magneto could totally just fling the Earth off its axis.
It's entirely possible he may have eventually resorted to just that. Over
One
time,
person.
it became clear Magneto's war was doing far more harm than good for his fellow mutants, however well-intentioned he may have been at first.
Luckily, he later realized he was going a bit overboard and began reevaluating his perspective. Good for you, Mags. It's really tough to recognize when you're the baddie.
It took time and patience not just from Magneto, but also from his peers. Yet eventually, his path was completely changed. He even became a leader for Xavier's X-Men.
But don't let his new goody two-shoes ways fool you. Whenever there's a threat to mutants, you can bet Magneto will be there to annihilate it.
Oh,
Forever.
thanks.
By any means necessary.
That's character development, ladies and gentlemen. When you know that you're doing wrong, you try to make up for it by doing the better. You know? I don't know if I said that right, but you get what I'm saying, though. He became a better person over time. He learned from his mistakes. Although his mistakes were very crucial and very, threatening to the world, you know, he decided to change. That's all that matters.
Over 30 years ago, a new type of bomb was set off over Tokyo, and 9 hours later, began the Third World War.
Welcome to 2030, or 2019 if you're watching the anime. The buildings are taller, the motorcycles are cooler, and the future is brighter. Oh, wait, not really. If you find yourself in the Capsule Gang, you'll meet Shotaro Kaneda, who's like your textbook anime Chad. Gets the ladies, beats the baddies, and cops the sweetest rigs.
Okay.
Man, I need to get me one of those.
And then there's the little brother of the group, Kaneda's best friend, Tetsuo Shima. He's, well...
The exact opposite. A total wimp. As a kid, Tetsuo in his college thesis forehead got bullied for being the new
Oh, go ahead.
kid at the orphanage.
Ex-Capsule
That's
gang
until
member,
Big Bro Kaneda
gang
came
leader,
to the rescue.
19.
Eventually, the two went to
5'4",
vocational school together and formed the
103.
Capsules.
Damn, he little.
But Tetsuo was never satisfied with Kaneda being the leader of the pack. Tetsuo desired more than anything to be top dog.
Oh, I can just see that monkey's paw curling in my mind. Or that kid walking down the street. Shit! Tetsuo, watch out! You're gonna... That definitely should have killed him. But since it didn't, Tetsuo earned himself a ticket to military confinement. Turns out they had an under-the-table program for developing child superweapons.
In the same program that backfired and jump-started the war, Tetsuo became Japan's Esper number 41.
He may not have been a natural with bikes, baddies, or babes, but this telekinesis stuff hit different. He walked out of that hospital ward effortlessly flying, reading minds, and blending people into strawberry jelly. Tetsuo got what he wanted. Power, along with the hunger for more of it.
A hunger that used to
Fair.
only be satiated with drugs. And not just any gateway drug, pills so potent that a single gram of the stuff could kill you.
So he's a druggie.
Pretty bad. Kinda reminds me of college days, huh? Snow wizard.
Tetsuo's main ability is his constantly
Hold on, what do he mean by that? Snow wizard. I'm gonna leave it alone.
increasing psionic energy,
I'm gonna leave
growing
it alone.
more and more powerful over time. This is due to Tetsuo's link to, quote, the memories of the
I'm
universe,
probably
end
thinking
quote.
of something else.
It's weird.
Either way, Tetsuo leveled up from lame gangbuster to certified badass. This guy is a walking natural disaster. His telekinesis can shake the planet, easily cause earthquakes over a dozen miles below the surface. He
Okay.
can summon psychic barriers for defense and crush foes with friggin' gravity wells. He can dart around as a literal bolt of lightning or even teleport in an instant.
Tetsuo's telekinesis can be so precise he can target and obliterate specific parts of the body. He can heal severe wounds quickly, but
Telekinesis,
even after
physical
losing a
barriers,
whole limb, he
regeneration,
can craft a
organic
new one using
corruption,
whatever nearby materials he
gravitational wells,
wants.
fight.
With these
Lightning,
powers, Top Dog
telepathy.
Canada didn't matter anymore. Who needed his approval? Tetsuo tasted that good shit and he was
Continuous
hooked.
growth and power.
And when he found out another Esper named Akira could deal him even more power, he rampaged through Tokyo to find him.
And this is where versions of the story differ.
Ahem. Spoilers ahoy!
You may be familiar with the 1988 animation, where Akira had been dissected for research.
Mhm.
However, in the original manga, Akira is not only alive, but even more powerful.
Once that little runt nuked Tokyo, Tetsuo would erect the Great Tokyo Empire with Akira and himself as its leaders. But he ended up just abusing the position for endless sex and inflating his ego.
With Kanada's
Wait. What just happened? What just wait, what just happened?
rebellion at his front door, Tetsuo took a turn for the worse. He had to fight.
Tetsuo's defeated other powerful espers, dodged light-speed lasers, and jumped to the moon faster than anyone could blink, and then punched a big old hole in it. And if you ask, Boomstick, wouldn't that mess up gravity on Earth? You would be right, because it totally did. Screwed the planet, I guess. Stupid moon.
Which brings us to Tetsuo's folly. His abuse of his powers spiraled until he lost control.
Oof.
Unfortunately for Kanada's rebellion, this did not make Tetsuo an easier enemy to confront. Exactly opposite, in fact, as Tetsuo painfully mutated into an unstoppable behemoth.
What is that?
Yep, that's not totally disturbing at all.
I'm happy to say the manga's version is even more disturbing.
I mean, I know babies can be monsters, but that's a whole nother level.
Yeah,
It
that's
is pain
disgusting.
incarnate. I can relate. Another Esper described Tetsuo's struggle as ego death, which has multiple definitions, but in this case is likely symbolic of the version attributed to drug use.
Yeah, it's described as a shedding of one's own identity, like how LSD can emulate a wild out-of-body experience, and you come back with a new perspective. Though this is maybe a little more extreme. In fact, you could say
Wait.
Tetsuo was shedding his human body to play with the powers of a god.
I wish I could shed out of my
You're
body,
Rick and Morty.
but in this case, Tetsuo going full out of body meant becoming a mound of raw, ever-expanding energy.
Which almost nuked Tokyo all over again. And those explosions are not normal. I would know.
Top scientists in both the manga and animated versions describe these explosions as births of a new universe.
Oh,
Given its properties of nuclear fusion and proton collapse, Tetsuo's mutated form was likely creating a Big Bang.
You know, the thing that started our
Oh.
whole universe?
Right, in the manga, it instead ended the Espers and their abilities once and for all. A testament that humankind is unsuited to wield the powers of the divine.
Though the anime's even more trippy. Thanks to Akira and his buddies, Tetsuo got so high on ego death, he ascended time-space to become god of a new universe. Kinda worth it, right?
And yet, Kanada kept his empire up in his honor, now as the Great Akira Empire. Ironically, in death, Tetsuo finally received the attention he so desperately craved.
I don't know who I want
All
to
right,
pick.
we've met and SAR set. We've run the data through all
I
possibilities.
think Akira's gonna
It's
win.
time for a death battle!
I think Akira's gonna win. What? Not Tetsuo. Sweet.
Even in Japan, they fail to recognize our superiority.
Wrong country, Grandpa! You're an Akira turf now!
Okay.
You're dead meat.
Impudent child!
The hell are you calling child? I make the rules around here.
They just throwing everything in sight. This is scary. It's a scary match.
You're wasting my time.
Throw that back.
Tricks for the master of magnetism.
It's a whole building, bro.
I'll kill you. I'll kill you! Your history, scumbag!
Did he just headbutt the building?
I believe I've had enough tantrums to last a lifetime.
Oh, snap.
Listen, welcome. I'll handle this on my own. Not weak. Die! Hurts. Help me.
What is... That's disgusting, bro.
Poor child.
Oh. Dang, to the dome ski.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Well then, I guess I was wrong.
I'm never doing that again.
Tetsuo's esoteric telekinesis and other bizarre
Stronger,
abilities
faster,
certainly
tougher.
gave Magneto pause, but the Master of Magnetism had
Magnekinesis,
greater
yeah.
control over his foe.
The numbers don't lie. Tetsuo cratering the moon was insane, but
Could kill
Magneto
Magneto without
punched
his
Iron Man
shield.
with the force of the sun.
Telekinesis
And while
had a
Tetsuo
broader
jumped all
range.
the way to the moon, Magneto could
Less
move across
versatile,
galaxies.
overexertion.
Against
Far less
Tetsuo in his
combat.
human form, Magneto obviously held a sizable advantage in power and speed.
Yeah.
But stats aren't all
Yeah.
that matters. With his precise telekinesis, Tetsuo could just target Magneto's organs. GG, right?
Yes, but Magneto had similar skills. There are very few substances on Earth that lack any metallic or magnetic components.
True.
And Magneto is very creative with his powers.
Which he could use to predict Tetsuo's teleportation and even shut down his telekinesis. And his scraps with Xavier prove he could handle Tetsuo's messing with his head.
That's
the
true.
biggest challenge for Magneto was when Tetsuo's gross mutated power came into play.
Especially given how the detonations from this form were compared to that of a Big Bang. Although the authenticity of that observation is questionable. In truth, the
okay.
Big Bang was a sudden expansion of matter on a universal scale, whereas
That's why I said that was one of the big reasons why I said that he will win. Is because they were saying that he literally is making the Big Bang, and the Big Bang is it's not nothing like to overlook. You feel me? So that's why I kind of said that he was gonna win, but I see why not.
Tetsuo's explosions are more akin to nuclear blasts, clearly intentional given the post-war symbolism of the Akira story.
The whole creating an alternate universe bit wasn't even part of the original material, so we can't exactly call it canon.
But let's just say the comparison wasn't superfluous. Let's say Tetsuo did in fact cause a Big Bang capable of creating or destroying an entire universe, alternate or otherwise.
Turns out Magneto had the tools to stop that too. Helmet Head could overpower Hercules, who was strong enough to hold up the skies of Olympus, which is literally heaven and an alternate universe.
This doesn't necessarily mean Magneto could easily destroy a universe with a snap of his fingers, but it does prove he can match a similar level of power. And context is everything. Tetsuo's Big Bang eruption specifically exhibited proton collapse, meaning its atomic structure was primarily an unstable mess of neutrons and electrons. And Magneto has detected and commanded unstable electrons before. This means Magneto had every means available to take control over this Big Bang.
Damn, and I thought he could just move some metal around. It's like the question posed by some of the greatest prophets of our time. Fucking magnets. How do they even work?
Magneto's astonishing power and intelligent control over all things magnetism triumphed in the end.
Tetsuo pushed his luck, but didn't have the metal to pull off the win.
The winner is Magneto.
That was a good one.
Thank you for watching this episode. If you'd like to direct...
That was a good one, man. Yeah, that was a good one. Shout out to Death Battle. Link will be in the description for that video, original video. Anything else I want to say? I just want to thank y'all for watching my videos. Even if you just click on it and you just seen who I was, it's still nice that you just kind of passed by. But for the people who really do watch and are subscribed to it, I really appreciate y'all for doing this. It means a lot because I'm really trying to I'm trying to, you know, achieve bigger and better things, man. And as long as y'all support me, man, I'll do the content that y'all want me to do, that I'm comfortable with as well. So you know, we in this together, you know what I'm saying? THT is me and y'all, bro. That's everybody that's watching me, that's doing all of this. So I really do appreciate y'all for watching, man. It's your boy Thunder Man. I'm out, bro. Peace.
Yeah, she wanna fuck with a goat. Spinning a band, put that on a coat. That nigga a bitch, I don't care what he told. Up in that chopper, send that boy straight to the doctor. It put a hole in his throat. Sure they gon' live with me, hop in that whip, pushing that gas and we float.